solving the data, right? You go with how do we solve, how do we go with the solution of it? Then this is, suppose I say, we are doing a research on the heavenly bodies. We are doing a research on, planets, stars, and the movement of it. How does it go? Just like the scientists do it. So all this comes here. Then the scientific research, which includes two things are there in this. One is related to the science, and other is the scientific process of conducting the research. Scientific process, sciences, as I said, depending upon the natural science or the physical science elements which we talk, and the scientific signifies it can be logical and unbiased also. Then we come with the social research. This is by behavioral social researchers in political science, education, okay, social or behavioral research. It applies to many methods for explaining, understanding, and describing the social life. So this is more to understand the behavioral impact of behavioral impact of the behavioral impact. So this talks about the behavioral issues. It could be talking about the selection, the preferences. All this would be coming into. Then we go the historical research, historical past, historical meaning past. So here we talk about the systematic evaluation of the past events, the interpretation to recapture the ideas, the personalities, the nuances which are influencing these events. All this comes under the historical research. Then you have the business research. Business research in the sense, something which is related, a problem which is related to a business firm. Planning, acquiring information of the business to see how do I improve the business, or to see how I'm going to go with the application of some latest technology. All comes to this thing. And then next you go to the normative research. The normative, which is generally carried out on product development. Here, if I have to know the, we will be doing in quantitative techniques, actually, we use the queuing system to understand the waiting time of the customer, how much time is being taken. Then if that is the what is the average time for the customer in the queue? And then will the customer be that for that much time? Because customer is important to us. How do I reduce this waiting time? So increase in the production system, all this comes here. Go with the exploratory research. Exploratory research is concerned with the discovering the general nature of the problem, the variables that are related to it. They are characterized by high degree of flexibility. Okay, to rely on the secondary data. We'll talk, how do I get the data for this research? So it's basically a primary and secondary data. So here the secondary data is all through, secondary data comes from secondary information. Like I go with, I can browse my net, I can take it from newspapers, I can take it from articles, I can take it from journals, I can take it from judgment samples, I can take it from some survey. Okay, all this comes under secondary data. The primary data being the data which I'm doing it directly, I collect it directly. Then go with the causal research. This investigates the cause and effect relationship between two or more variables. So what is the cause for it and what is the effect? By the cause, what effect has been done? So all this comes under your causal research. So whenever we talk about the research methodology, okay, so we have to use certain techniques, the procedures, the models, which determine the results of a problem. So this here, the systematic procedure of solving any research problem. So how do we go with it? What is that which we look? What are the general tools which we use in this? So we have the statistical method techniques or the operation methods and the models. So when I talk about the statistic methods or techniques, they can be talking about the mean, median, mode, variance, coefficient of variance, quartile deviations, forecasting methods, sampling methods, discriminant analysis, hypothesis, test of hypothesis, all do come under statistical methods. When I come to operation research, it is a linear, non-linear, goal, then integral programming, dynamic programming. Okay, game theory, I was talking about game, and the Q theory. All this do come under your inventory control. If I'm talking something to do with the business, something related to the business, or a simulation technique, which, mostly we can get it, live, putting the model into experiment and calculating it, replacement of the production scheduling. So we'll just see what is qualitative and what is quantitative research. So first, qualitative research means it is a technique, unstructured exploratory technique. So here you gather the data. Okay, it can be the behavioral, it depends on the attributes. Okay, attitude, the problems, the opportunities which are lying in the market. All these are qualitative. Only you are gathering the info about the unstructured explanatory technique. Okay, you are gathering some attributes. If I talk about some attributes, I talk about some behaviors, all come under qualitative research. Quantitative research is the second one, which goes with the, in numbers, which I can put it as facts, predictions. Okay, I can base it on, I can test the hypothesis. I can collect the information. I can calculate it. I can measure it. So whenever I talk about the qualitative and quantitative, basically what is the difference between the two? First one is the purpose. Purpose is the qualitative research is only to focus on the new products. Okay, the positioning strategies. Okay, these are the behavioral part. And then when it comes to quantitative, this goes with analyzing the characteristics, the outcomes of the research, strategic marketing decisions. And then when we come to the nature, the qualitative research is subjective and the quantitative research is descriptive, as I was telling you, is descriptive. Quantitative is in numbers. It isn't descriptive, right? It focuses on promotional inputs of the consumers. It is on predictions. It is on numbers, right? And then when I talk about the types of questions and answers we have, so it is a behavior. Whenever I talk about a behavior, it is not close-ended. Close-ended is where you have a definite answer or where you can come to a conclusion. Open-end is where, everybody of us can interpret it in our own way. We can interpret in our own way and give a solution in our own way. So when I talk about the open-ended, they're unstructured questions, right? Their interviews, focus groups, all this comes under qualitative. Quantitative is close ending. You have a predefined responses. You have a correct number. We are able to know what the result is. So here, this is based on testing cause and effect. Then when I come to the samples, generally small samples are taken qualitative research, the non-probability samples, then finding the research as this is not representing the universe as such. But when it comes to quantitative, we represent the universe at the large or a large sample, okay, a representative of the universe. Then the data is collected, is analyzed by researchers and behavioral science, subject on account of impact towards the research judgments. Here all judgments are taken into consideration. When you come here, it is mostly on coding, tabulating, entering, right? You're using some tools, techniques. So qualitative is interpretivism, positivism. This is based on interpretation, as I already told you. And this is on positivism, calculation. How could it be? What is it? All that would come there in the quantitative. So when I talk about the main purpose or the objective also, you look, it is understanding the underlying reasons, the motivations, right? Quantitative is generalizing the data. What is it? How do we go? Right? These things come in qualitative. And when I talk about the qualitative research procedures, the qualitative research procedures, yeah. You have a direct and indirect. Okay, in direct, you go with focus, depth interviews, projective techniques. In the indirect, in depth interviews, we have association, completion, construction, and expressive techniques. So focus group is, an interview which is trained by the moderator. It is a non-structured and natural manner. Small group of respondents, as I already told you. When I talk about qualitative, it goes with not a large sample, but a small sample. So here the people talk that the appropriate target talk about the interest of the researcher, what actually he wants to find out, what is the base problem here, and he will go with the value of the techniques which lies between the unexpected findings. Then when I talk of the focus group, here qualitative research procedure, and many marketing research practitioners go with this because it's very good to do and easy to uh, get it. Right. So then we have we'll go to the depth interviews. The depth interviews are obtaining qualitative data. So general procedure for conducting is some specific techniques, advantages and disadvantages, applications. I'll be discussing it. So here in depth interviews is to obtain the qualitative data. How do I do it? So just like focus groups, even in depth interviews, they're unstructured and a direct way of obtaining information. So they are conducting on a one-to-one basis, means in a depth interview, it is unstructured, it is direct.
Camera not adjusted, ma'am. Ma'am, before time we have to log in, ma'am.
Yes, Khalil sir, am I audible? Khalil sir, am I audible?
Now audible, ma'am.
Khalil
Before
sir?
not audible.
Yeah, because sometimes we're having some net issues, I suppose. Now am I audible?
Okay, carry on, ma'am, please. Yeah, audible. And now we
Right.
don't have time, ma'am. Right,
yes.
now start.
Yeah. So when we talk about the depth interviews, like qualitative data, here they're conducted on one-to-one basis. You may take, that depends upon the questionnaire which we are preparing and the way procedures we want to move. Right. This goes with probing the depth of the subject. How do we go? What is the problem as such? How do you want to take it? How do you look at it? All this comes in depth interview. And then when I talk about the Then when we come to the scale to what we use, right? How do we go with it and how do we go with the research and what are the scales we generally use, right? So when I talk about the scale, we take the ordinal, the nominal, the interval and the ratio scales. We'll just see what these scales are. Then I talk about the nominal scales. They are qualitative scale where we say it yes or no. Like the question we have, only say yes, no, or agree, disagree. Okay. It can be, are you working? Yes or no. If so, yes. These are comes in nominal scales. Ordinal scales is a ranking. Every time ordinal is the ranking. So here when I talk about ranking, it goes with ranking from 1 to 10 or ranking from 1 to 5. Based on the ranks, you give it. Then we have the interval scales. Interval scales goes with the magnitude difference of the ordinal scale. Here, marks scale of marks secured. If I take the scale of marks, right, then representative students, who is better, who is not, all comes here. Then we go the ratio scales. The ratio scales are nominal, ordinal, interval scales, right? Here, it helps to identify the rank the objectives. Compare the intervals. They are used for measuring, whenever I talk about ratio scale, measuring height, or how do I measure the height? It comes in ratio scale. Height, weight, age, money, in all these things come here. So how do we apply these scales? So one says, nominal scale is used in qualitative data, like where I say, religion, education, the brand levels, all this comes under nominal scale. And ordinal scales is applied wherever we're using subject assessment, quality and top quality, something important, something relevant. So which is better one? Which is good? Which one is, this all come under ordinal scale. Then in interval scale, when I talk about survey and research, survey, all this comes under interval scale. Ratio scale is in physical science, in engineering. There we do follow the ratio scale. Then we go with, I was talking about what type of data do we use. So here we can either use the primary data or the secondary data. So when I talk about primary data is, specifically for purpose of addressing the problem. The collection of data involves, basic steps like primary obtaining the data. Then you can look at what the data, after collection of data, you keep on segregating. Primary data is collecting it directly. Basically, it involves steps and it is directly collecting the data from the first-hand information. This is called a primary data. And when it was secondary data, this is, collecting from various other sources. Other than the problem at hand, it is through various sources. It can be located quickly and inexpensively. You can collect it from net. You can collect it from some journals. You can collect it from, magazines, newspapers. All this come under secondary data. So when I talk about the basic advantages and disadvantages of secondary data is basically, you identify the problem and then you redefine the problem and then you start an approach to the problem. Look at what research is given and then what type of questions can be done and a hypothesis can be implied. And then look at the primary data basically and interpret the primary data. So this all goes with your secondary data. And
Are you there, ma'am? Are you there?
Khalil, hi, Khalil Prasad.
How are you, Prasad? Fine.
This is the QT class or any class? What is the class?
This is QT class.
QT class. QT class is SAR is there, na? SAR not there.
SAR is there, but they have appointed to another faculty. How are you?
Fine, fine. Starting with theory, QT. Only theory
No,
class.
no. Just now they had started 10:50 a.m. Then maybe she will cover everything, problems and also the theory.
That the audio is disturbing and the video is
yeah. Audio
poor.
and
We
disturbing.
have to
wait for till that.
Okay. Next class. Next class,
cost accountancy.
Another taxation. Only 30 minutes. No problems is this is 50 minutes. No problem is not there.
For online, equipment should be very nice, too flexible to take the online classes.
I think the problem is not solved. Only theory class is explained.
Maybe I don't know about this.
Sir, I think in between my audio is being cut.
Okay, ma'am.
I am able to hear you. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. No.
Right. So we'll just go with the research. How should it be? The characteristics of the research. First one is it should be, pardon?
Actually, madam, is there any problems to solve in this class? Because of
yes, sir. You do have.
Only you have started, madam. Only theory class, madam.
Sir, theory is first one is research, design, hypothesis, data collection, interpretation, report writing. So that is what means. Basically, at least I should be able to tell you that you all only want problems. We'll go with only problems tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes, because it's 1 hour class, no, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Carry on, ma'am.
You are able to get me. I thought, see, because first thing is all your quantitative techniques, whatever it is, the importance, need, research, that you would be doing it. That is easy for you all to study. That's why I came to research, because that's a bit difficult one to you all to remember. That's why I started with research.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Carry on.
Right, sir. And then if you want problems only to be discussed in the 4 sessions, next 4 sessions, I'll only discuss problems.
Okay.
So how do you all want? Do you all want the theory, or do you all want the theory and the problems, or only problems? Because we have only 5 classes overall given to me.
Okay, thank you.
So how do we go? Shall we go?
I think half an hour in theory, half an hour in any important problem. Like.
So I'll do one thing, sir. Now let me complete research for today. Tomorrow I'll take a problem on regression correlation.
Okay.
I'll go with the problems then. Tomorrow we'll discuss some important problems that would be easy for you all to do.
Okay.
Because you have hypothetical
binomial large sample test hypothesis problems. I see the model paper, so yeah.
You'll have actually even you'll have this t-test, ANOVA, chi-square. You'll have that also. Okay, you have mean, you have the decision tree, you have game theory.
Okay. After that, next class onwards, you carry on from your story.
We have 10 minutes left, ma'am. Another faculty will be wait. Now start, please.
Please
yes,
start.
Yes. Yes. So when we talk about the research, so it should be, it's a relation between 2 or more variables, so which are affected. These are internal or externals. So research is, if it is not controllable, right? This would be out of the, if the problem which you want to solve, the problem which you have identified, which you would like to solve, right, to get the facts, this you would be deviated from it. So it should be rigorous. Rigorous is to find out the answers, the procedures, to find out the, to which basic problem the science, the problem is related to. Is it a social science or a physical science? When I talk about physical sciences, that's all something with nature and law which can be done. But when it comes to social science, to the behavioral aspects, we need to go accurately looking at what the parameters would be. Then it should be systematic, a systematic approach. A perfect research design should be done, and then to evaluate it, to obtain the information in a very systematic manner, and then various steps to do a perfect research has to be first identified. First, we have to identify what the process would be, what we require, what data analysis is required, what type of research is required. Based on that, we need to do, and then we need to do a valid research. Means it should be something correct, verifiable, qualitative or quantitative, right? You should be able to know what the outcome would, like what likely outcome would be, or what is that is expected from us. If I want to do a research, what is that which is expected? Why are we conducting that? If I have a clarity, we know that is valid, yes, that research would be easily. It should be empirical, okay, based on ethical and evidences, gathered evidences from observations, or real life experiences from observations. As we were discussing, it's an in-depth. You can take it from various journals, or you want to go with the one-to-one personal interviews where you talk about the personal experiences, and then the foundation of the knowledge. That is providing,
page number, please. Page number.
Which page number, sir?
Page number. I am in front of book duty. The page number.
Okay, so these are the reference books which I am using, sir. I'm using Naresh Malhotra's research textbook.
Okay, carry on.
Right. I'm not using the thing which is given to y'all, I suppose.
Okay.
Right, sir. And then the basic knowledge which we want to carry. What is the foundation for the purpose? What is the main purpose of it? And for that purpose, what is the steps which you have designed? And what is that which you would like to get? With that, what is that which you want to achieve? So these are important. And then we go with the framing of the research objectives. That's very important. Whenever we talk about the research objectives, the identifying the purpose of the attention of your research. It's what actually we want to do. Suppose I say, I was talking about the impact of the say social media on youth today. What is the basic objective? Why do I want to find it? So if I predefine my objectives, from there I can know exactly what is that I have to search for, what is that I have to get, what is the expected answer which I would like to receive. So find out the real facts. Here, finding out the real facts is what actually is happening, the real time, right? What are the researchers evaluating? Finding out the exact information for the problem related questions, the new to achieve the new thoughts. Okay, finding out the exact information to evaluate the information. Once we get the data which we collect is every time an unstructured data, but we need to make this unstructured data into structured. We need to structure it. Okay, and this should be done in an appropriate and efficient manner so that designing the research would be very easy. We can design the research, solve them also. So here, through various scientific methods, statistical analysis, tables, graphs, we can do it. Then testing the hypothesis. Tomorrow, what I would do is, we will go with even the testing the hypothesis, because that generally testing the hypothesis is important, and we would have the questions based on that. So here, when I talk about the testing the hypothesis, like the number of actions which would we take. Suppose I tell you, I want to know the cost and revenue of say rice. Okay, the rice in Telangana, say in 4 districts. I want to take rice, I want to take grams, I want to take oil if I'm doing this. So my H1 would be, what is the cost? What is the revenue? So is the cost, once I test the hypothesis, I should be able to, that represent the numbers. Like what is the significance level? Why, right? What is that which I want to, the decision which comes out of it? Means it is not or it is more than or less than. So if I take this hypothesis testing, I would exactly know how to go with it. Then calculation of the probability. So design or implement the research. So here the research, it prepares structure, as I already told you. A research design should be structured. They can easily describe or identify the structure of it. Then find out the optimum factor to solve it and improve the understanding, objectives of the research. And how do I go with it? So when we talk about the research, so what is the importance or objective of this research? Finding out the real facts, achieving new thoughts, evaluate the information which we have collected, testing the hypothesis, designing or implementation of the research to improve our understanding. This is basically what we do the research for. So what I would do is, in the next class, if you would just tell me, you all would like to have problems or theory, based on that, on the 4 sessions, I would plan out. Because I think now we have a better group. In the yes,
Madam,
yes,
go through this. Yes, go through with this over university syllabus, ma'am. Syllabus means book, because we can we have the books. We can refer with this page number also. If you are going with any problem also, if screen is not visualized, we can see into the book. Okay,
okay,
ma'am. Thank you.
Fine. I'll just try to get the book, beta. I don't know books. I don't have the books with me. But surely today I will just talk to them and I'll see how would I get the books, and I would try to get that and teach something from that. That tomorrow I will ensure that it would be done. right? And then what about the like whatever I've given you a brief description, because I think we have only 1 hour, and in that we need to give a lot content of it. So are you all with me? Are you all able to understand? Because from the first thing, I think it was only Mr. Khalil who was there. So I think Khalil sir, you would be able to tell me. Are you with me? Are you able to get it?
Ma'am, we are trying, ma'am, actually. This is the fact.
Okay. Right. So because as you said, your book, today I will ensure to see what the think about it, and I'll see what I can do with it, surely. And then tomorrow, there should not be a problem. Because I thought we should go with the reference books, and I'm using the standard reference books which we generally use.
Ma'am, online class means it should be visualized, everything, the points, and book is showing something, screen is showing something, the faculty is saying something. All people we will not understand, even though me also.
See, whatever is in the book, that screen which I've been showing, the same points I've been discussing. Sorry, sir. चलेंगे वहां जाएंगे. He is eating biscuits like he's playing with the students. बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट कर रहा है, it seems. क्या क्या कर रहा है, क्या दे रहा है. They are tense. हम जाके क्या बोलेंगे उसको?
They are writing. If anyone record the audio call. Hello.